128. Have you ever had a dream that accurately predicted the future?
Quite often.
Have I died in any of them?
No, but I did see Richard die.
Poor man.
Was I convicted?
Pardon?
Was I convicted?
No.
It's not all about you, Dave. I know it's your show, but was it a good death, though?
He sacrificed himself for somebody else.
Did he shout Khan?
The best kind. He'd be so happy.
He said, I told him about it. He said it was very similar to what he'd seen himself dying. Which was a bit freaky.
Did I miss anything in the rest of his 175 stream? Have you watched his 175 screen, Mathpig?
I haven't watched it all. I was falling asleep, but I was in the chat. No, Richard's beard was in the chat. I was not in the chat at all.
At all.
I heard Richard's beard is actually Irish, but don't tell anybody.
It just sounds Irish through the beard.
Color. It's the ginger color, but he died right here.
I actually got ribs.
I was pretending that he'd kidnapped me and was threatening me with trimmers and all. It was quite funny.
Oh, that's terrible. Sammy, have you ever dreamt of the future that's come true?
Yeah. I believed I did, but I'm not so convinced that it actually...
No, there's no such thing as predicting the future.
Thank you, yes.
But it can appear that way. And don't forget your brain.
It does.
Like, I've had deja vu. Does that count?
It is. It is almost the same thing.
Yeah, right.
There only needs to be one trigger in a situation that then in your brain transforms that entire situation.
Yes.
Into a recognized.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
We match as much as we fit around anything. Yeah. It's why witness statements are so unreliable, because we see one thing and then we fit an entire universe around it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which
how did you get rid of the problem of hard solid substance?
We kick you.
What do you do?
We kick Mathpig. Doc.
I don't think so, but I have experienced a lot of deja vu.
Sal said he was deja vu. Manda's vanished?
I mean, if that's what you want to call it, because at the same thing, I'm in a total agreement with Sammy. It just takes one little thing to put you in a whole other reality, and your mind just goes wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard to. Well, I can recognize a dream when I'm having it. I can recognize.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's a step away from lucid dreaming.
Well, that's the only way I can explain it. I'm dreaming. I'm having a bad dream. I recognize I'm in a dream. I stop freaking out. And
don't just stop freaking out, man. Reach up your arms in front of you like Superman and fly into the sky. I'm not kidding you.
You can imagine.
You will fucking do it. You will do it.
Yes, I've done stuff like that.
Are you serious? I'm so jealous.
I've been able to get to a point where I just spoke about it the other day in a stream. Me and Bill were talking about it. So I can find myself in a nightmare, and there's one that stood out not too long ago. I was on a beach, where all of a sudden it's like Armageddon and bombs exploding, and you see like World War III starting. I'm in the water, and when I turn around, I can see my family in the distance, my immediate family, and they're all getting killed, like bullet. And I'm running towards them, And as I'm running towards them, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a fucking dream. And
Yeah.
the whole thing changes, and I can I actually manipulate what's happening in my head at that moment. I can also pick up where I left off. Like I won't just stop dreaming and completely forget. The ones that stand out, not all dreams, because I dream all the time, but I can't always remember my dreams. But I do have that capability. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I can do that in my dream. So when I am out in the real world and I see something that triggers a memory, I kind of break it down and see where that memory came from, and not find myself in saying, well, deja vu, or using some word that doesn't fully explain the experience of having.
Y'all want to hear a weird one?
Go on.
Yeah.
This isn't lucid dreaming per se, but I often have dreams where at some point I'll suspect it's a dream, and I'll have to test things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a kind of lucid dreaming. Well, when I was in college, I had a dream that I was in philosophy class, and I began to suspect it was a dream. So I told my philosophy instructor, and she proved me wrong. She proved it was not a dream.
How?
Eh?
How?
So that was kind of weird.
How did she prove it wasn't a dream?
Yeah. That's the interesting.
I was trying to tell her it was a dream, and I looked around at all the desks, and all of a sudden there was like a red piece of paper on each desk, and I said, "Aha! That paper wasn't on each of these desks before." And she looks at the other end of the room and says, "Well, that's because so-and-so has been handing them out." And then suddenly there was a person there putting those papers on the desk. That's how she proved it. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is real.
Here's a question. Did you know something was going to happen prior to that? Is it something that constantly happened every so often, where somebody did something like that? She assigned somebody to do that?
Probably not that particular teacher, but that sort of thing was common with other instructors.
So,
yeah.
I really don't dream at all.
No, same.
And when I do, they are so realistic. I didn't realize that people even dream in black and white, let alone apparently most. I've never had I've never had a black and white dream.
Yeah.
But they're usually mundane, like the most mundane thing you could imagine, just walking up to your sock drawer and getting a pair of socks out, and then the dream's over.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my dreams. But I had one dream one time that I don't know if it gave me PTSD or a psychotic break or what happened, but it was so realistic, and the time frame that happened in the dream was so long, like months in fact, that when I woke, I did not know who my waking self was. I was still the person in the dream.
Did you have a fever?
And, I don't know, but it took me a few days to really come back to full, if I ever even came back, to be honest. But it was...
Did Deep Space Nine not do that with Chief O'Brien? I think they did, didn't they?
There's been a few in sci-fi where they've given... I mean, Picard's the famous one.
Right.
With spending an entire life with the flute.
So I saw an experiment years ago. It's definitely 10 plus years ago. It was on the Science Channel. It was one of those weird documentaries. It was with Morgan Freeman, and it was some science thing. And they were running these experiments where they would flash letters and numbers or symbols to somebody before they went to sleep. And then they found a way to record those through like MRI type imaging. Yeah. Record something dreaming through an MRI as they dreamt.
Yeah.
And they were able to see certain letters that were flashed in front of them repeatedly throughout their dream. So like the letter F was just constantly being flashed in front of them, and the MRI imaging that they produced with the whatever they were doing was able to copy that F
Yeah.
through your mind, through whatever you were thinking. So they were experimenting on actually recording people's dreams, and it seemed possible. That's years ago. I haven't. Heard it, but it was really interesting.
There's some interesting research there, and there is allegedly, I've seen it in drama, and I don't think I've seen it in tests of almost getting an image out of it.
Yes.
I'm not convinced.
I've seen that footage, but I wasn't convinced.
No, I'm not.
either.
I don't know if it's real. Is at the end of the day. I mean, what I would say, going back to Sammy's point, is that everyone dreams, but a lot of people don't remember the dreams. I don't remember my dreams virtually at all. However, I do hallucinate when I'm ill, quite badly.
Okay,
And what I find it really funny, actually, I go for years not knowing something, and then all of a sudden discovering that my hallucination is really, really common, and it's called Alice in Wonderland syndrome. And you think I think I'm tiny. I'm in the room I'm in, but it's like I'm an inch tall.
Okay, yeah.
And everything around me is huge, and I can't move in it. And it's really weird. That's one of the common ones I get.
That would be weird.
Yeah. And I get that when I got fever. So I might have if I start getting that next week, I know to be worried.
Feel sick, Dave?
I've had a terrible cough
Okay. Yeah.
that refuses to go away.
I've had that same experience, Dave, but it was drug induced.
I can't believe it was other people that had it. I'd had it all my life. It's vaguely common. Right.
Not special at all, Dave.
No. Thought it was a superpower. I thought I could shrink down. And if I could only learn to move.
Ant-Man.
Right.
Minute Man.
Ant-Man.
It's not Minute Man, it's Minute Man.